When you arrive in Sweden, there are 7 critical things you need to do immediately, and skipping any of them will make starting your life here way harder. I really wish someone had made a video like this when I first moved to Sweden. It would have saved me so much stress and confusion. So I'm making this one to help you get the best possible start to life in Sweden. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to do as soon as you arrive in Sweden is get your Swedish personal identity number. This number is basically your key to living in Sweden. It shows your date of birth, followed by 4 digits, and it officially puts you in the Swedish population register. If you're planning to live in Sweden for a year or more, then you absolutely need this number. You cannot live or survive in Sweden without it. You'll need it for everything. Opening a bank account, registering at a hospital, getting a job, renting, literally everything. So this should be your number 1 priority. How do you get a Swedish personal identity number? You apply through Skatteverket, the Swedish tax agency. Before moving to Sweden, you can actually start the process online by notifying Skatteverket that you're moving to Sweden. They have a Moving to Sweden e-service that makes things easier. You can submit your documents online up to 14 days before you arrive. For non-EU citizens, you will usually need to upload things like your passport, your Swedish residence permit card issued by the migration agency, the reason you're moving to Sweden, your Swedish address, proof of your family situation if you're moving with family. Here it's important to note that you need to submit a separate form for each family member moving with you if you plan to come with family. After you've uploaded all your documents online, the next step is to book an appointment for an identity check with the Swedish tax agency. Make sure you choose a time when you know you would have arrived in Sweden. I will recommend booking a time a day or 2 after you've arrived so you have some time to rest first. When you go to the tax office, take your appointment confirmation with you because you'll need it to check in, and bring all the documents you submitted online as well. After your identity check, you just wait. If the tax agency needs anything else, they'll contact you. Otherwise, your personal identity number will arrive in your mailbox. So make sure your name is on your mailbox from the start. So your Swedish personal identity number is the very first thing you should work on. It's something you should start preparing for even before you move to Sweden. I've added a link to the Swedish tax agency in the description. You'll find everything there: the Moving to Sweden e-service, the documents you need to upload, and how to book your appointment. Hopefully, this makes the whole process a lot easier for you. The next thing you need to do is apply for a Swedish ID card. You can only apply for this after you've received your personal identity number, and you'll need the ID card for the next step we'll talk about: opening a bank account. Having a Swedish ID makes everything so much easier, but we'll get to that soon. For the Swedish ID card, you'll need to pay an application fee. At the time of recording this video, the fee is 400 Swedish kroner. And remember, you still don't have a Swedish bank account at this stage, so make sure you have a bank card from your home country that works for international payments. You'll need it just for now until your Swedish bank account is ready. To apply, you pay the fee online into the account provided by the tax agency in your city. After that, you book an appointment using your personal identity number and the details of your payment. When it's time for your appointment, go to the tax office with a receipt that proves that you paid the 400 kroner, your passport, your residence permit card. At the appointment, they'll take your photo, your height, and some other basic details. Once that's done, you just wait for your Swedish ID card to arrive. It normally comes to your mailbox within 2 weeks. So again, make sure your name is on your mailbox. I've added a link in the description below with full details on how to apply for the Swedish ID card to make things easier for you. Once you have your personal identity number and your Swedish ID card, the next thing you need to do is open a bank account. For this step, I highly recommend going to the bank in person with your Swedish ID card. Your ID card has your personal identity number on it, and that makes the whole process much easier. There are many banks in Sweden you can choose from. Just look through their websites, compare what they offer, and decide which one feels right for you. After you've chosen a bank, simply walk into any of their branches and tell them you want to open an account. The staff will guide you through the process. When you're at the bank, make sure you ask one very important question. How can I get BankID connected to my account? This is very important, and that leads us straight into the next point. One of the most important things you need to sort out when you arrive in Sweden is your BankID. This little thing will make your life here so much easier. If you don't know what BankID is, it's basically your electronic ID. It's how you prove who you are online in Sweden, and you will use it for everything. Dealing with the hospitals, buying things online, signing documents, you name it. Sweden runs on BankID. You can only get BankID after you have your personal identity number, which you already have by now, and a Swedish bank account. That's why I mentioned earlier that when you're opening your bank account, you should always ask the staff to help you set up BankID at the same time. They usually help you right there on the spot. So after this step, you'll walk out of the bank with your first Swedish bank account and your BankID activated. The next thing you need for everyday digital payments in Sweden is Swish. Swish is a mobile payment app that lets you send money instantly between bank accounts using just a phone number. Everyone in Sweden uses Swish. It almost feels like a crime not to have it. It's that common. People don't even say, "Can you send me money?" They say, "Can you swish me?" So yes, it's a must-have. And this is where you see how important BankID is, because you need your BankID to use Swish. Everything is connected. Every bank in Sweden works with Swish. The easiest way to set it up is to simply go to Google and type "how to get Swish" plus your bank name. For example, Nordea is my bank, so I would type "how to get Swish Nordea." You'll get the exact steps for your specific bank. If you find it confusing or something doesn't work, just call your bank's customer service or walk into the bank. They'll help you set it up. Get a SIM card for your mobile phone. Another important thing you need to do when you first arrive in Sweden is to get a Swedish SIM card. You'll probably still be using your SIM card from your home country at first, and depending on your provider, you might still have data through international roaming. But roaming is usually very expensive, so getting a Swedish SIM card will save you a lot of money. If you're an international student, many universities give out free SIM cards during arrival days. You'll see telecom companies on campus handing them out. If not, you can easily buy a SIM card at places like Pressbyrån or 7-Eleven. Some common network providers in Sweden are Comvik, Tele2, and Hallen. I've personally used Comvik since I arrived, and I like their service. It's affordable, and their roaming deals when I travel outside Sweden have been great. This is not an ad for Comvik, just my experience. When it comes to choosing a plan, you can go for either a prepaid plan or a contract plan. When you're new in Sweden, I would recommend starting with a prepaid plan. They don't require any long-term commitment, and you can easily switch providers if you find a better deal anytime. The last thing you need to do when you arrive in Sweden is to check your mailbox regularly. I'd say check it at least twice a week. A lot of important letters will be coming in, and you don't want to miss any of them. You'll get letters from the tax agency, from your bank, from companies offering you discounts, and even from your local health center asking you to register with them. So make it a habit to always check your mailbox at least twice a week, just to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. So these are the 7 most important things you need to do right after arriving in Sweden. If you're planning to move to Sweden soon, let me know in the comments. And if you've just moved here, tell me how it's going so far. And for those of you who have been living in Sweden for years like myself, if there's anything I didn't mention, feel free to share it in the comments so we can help our newly arrived friends out. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more real conversations about life in Sweden. The good, the bad, and the downright frustrating. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.